For today and tomorrow, we're going to cover the details that we should have covered like with the original tutorial that I did last week. That includes how to save the images, how to save the Blender file itself, the project file. I'll tell you how to save the default settings, which is really handy, and just quite a bit of interesting stuff here. To begin this tutorial, you're going to need to press your Windows button, E. It's probably the easiest way to get into Windows Explorer, and to get into your C drive, because we're going to be saving a folder in there, and that's right where the tutorial starts. So go ahead and do that, and let's go ahead and do part one of the tutorial. Essentially, right now, what we'll probably need to do here in order to get with today's lesson is you'll need to go into your C drive and right click on that folder, new folder. I'm sorry you can't see the folder thing there. That's just the way I'm capturing this video here. But with that folder, name it Blender. Sorry, Blender output. Okay, and we're going to be using this folder to keep our images and movie files. Okay, so we have our Blender file here. It's currently in the Blender window, in the Blender render window. So in order to get out of that, because it's carried over from the last video, get out of that, you press the F11 button. I'm going to show you something else that's going to make that a bit easier too. The first thing that I'm going to need to show you though is how to save each one of these images. You got your right, and I'm using my right mouse button to click on each of these cameras here. So I'm going to choose the right camera first, and I want to show you how to do something here, because I don't like that render window always going into our program here. So we're going to open up this thing here off to the side. Just click and left mouse button down. And right here it says render. It says image and animation. You want to keep those in mind where those are at. It says image editor as display. Well, we're going to choose new window for this because we want to keep this as it is, but we want the render to actually happen separately. Everything like layers, dimensions, we're going to keep those at default because of what I'm trying to show here today. We also have output down here. Now, what we're trying to do here today is save images to the Blender output file folder, but it doesn't automatically do that in Blender 2.5x. We have to do that a separate way. But while we're here, we're going to change this. And we got our Blender output folder right there. And we're going to accept that as the output folder, because we're going to need that for our animations. Just while we're here. Another thing I want to do here is when we got the PNG files here, we're going to save the alpha channel. Because as we get along with this, we're going to add this to live footage. 3D animation to live footage. Pretty cool, huh? And what this will do is, because the PNG file extension, it saves the alpha channel. If anything of our renders have like a glow to it, it will blend in seamlessly to our footage. We don't have to worry about anything like keying out or anything like that. And that's awesome. That's you'll see the benefits of that probably 5 years down the road. Anyway, we're going to zip that up. Oh, by the way, I should have mentioned this. Sorry about this. It's automatically in the render, but up here, if the camera is selected, it's in blue there. It's in the render settings, what we just changed. There are other settings here, and if you see something that was totally different than what I just showed, it might be set on some of these. I mean, these are like the scene settings, world settings, object settings, object constraint settings, object data settings, texture, and physics. Okay. Let's get rid of that though. Poof. Now, even though that does the image render in that screen there, it doesn't automatically go into that folder. So it's easier to just do something like this. Got your original screen, select your right camera, press F12, render it out. Now, down here in your image, we're going to say save as, and it's going to be PNG, relative path. We're going to say original. We're going to try this out here. And sorry about this. We want to go into either the C drive with Blender output, or we should have Blender output right there. Now we'll bring this over across here. Now don't do like I started doing and place in the name of the file that you're going to save right after Blender output. Okay, don't do that. That's stupid. Down here in this line, this is where your file name goes. And we're going to say right 10 11 09. Is it 09 or 010? Sorry about this. I'm losing my track of days here. Yeah, 09. Save as. Let it do its thing. Boy, that took a long time. And there's our right file. And we can do the same thing. Oops, sorry about that. With our, so right mouse button, click our left camera. 12. Image. Now save as is F3, so it's easier to just have this window up. Press F3 on your keyboard. It brings up our file. Blender output's right there. And then we'll say up here, left 10 11 09. And then we'll just X out of that window. And that's how to save your images.